Tron Legacy 2010. Wow, 15 years ago already. A sequel to the 1982 hit starring Jeff Bridges is a criminally underrated film embodying style, story, and a synth musical motif that perfectly suits the 1980s era of film. With Tron Ares coming out later this year, it's a great time to revisit an underappreciated film. But for that, please like and subscribe.
And I can't spare you any more time. End of line.
So I rewatched the movie last night and I'm reminded of why I liked it so much. The movie is visually stunning, has a soundtrack that makes you wish for hair techno days, and contains just enough nostalgia to make it a memorable addition to the franchise. While it is updated in terms of effects and just a bit edgier than its predecessor, it still retains an old school vibe that us 80s kids really enjoyed. There are numerous facets that make it not only a worthy successor to the 1982 classic, but a welcomed upgrade to its characters and props. We get ample time with the Recognizer. Something about that shape is pretty unsettling, though. Maybe it's because the feet are pointing inwards. Make them point outwards! But I really love the tweak they made to its function. When it lands, its shelf or cockpit descends astride its legs for easier deployment and acquisition of crew and rogue programs. That's a really cool touch. One of the more notable things about the movie, of course, at least for the time, was how they de-aged Jeff Bridges to play Kevin Flynn and his counterpart, Clue. Back when the movie was released, this de-aging process tech was kind of new and still a little bit rough around the edges in some shots, like we're looking at a high-end video game character. But hey, give them a break. It was 2010 and wasn't as easy to do as it is these days with deepfake and AI. But even so, with these developments, they still haven't quite gotten it right yet. Rendering a convincing visual of a de-aged character, especially around the eyes, is infamously hard. They always look like defocused, twinkly mannequins or something. Speaking of characters, one of the standouts is Zeus, the double-crossing hedonist purveyor of not-so-fine goods, who nailed down the 80s mannerisms and energy with manic-dramatic magnetic flair. That's hard to say. And then there's Cora, who brings a heroic but innocent and somewhat traumatized energy to the role. Behind her aggressive and capable nature in a melee fight, she's a compassionate, vulnerable soul, a remnant of a time long past, and the last of her kind. And of course, Tron would not be Tron without the light cycles. Those things are crazy cool, aren't they? Entire video games were made out of the premise they are based on, trapping and destroying your opponent with deadly speed and a trailing light wall. They cleverly used this in an air battle later in the movie. Fun to watch. And it's always a joy to watch Jeff Bridges play his roles. Nearly 44 years later, we will see him in the world of red and blue digital stripes. So, where are we now? Tron Ares, as mentioned earlier, is coming out later this year. It seems the movie's premise is based on where the second one left off, with Clue trying to bring his world into ours. From the looks of it, it seems he, or perhaps another villain, succeeded. That shot of the Recognizer is intriguing, and I like the direction it's going. It's one thing to have Tron in its own isolated digital world. It's another to see what happens when that world overlaps or collides with our own. Do you think Clue will make an appearance again? What were your favorite parts in Tron and Tron Legacy? Listen to this soundtrack. Da 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 da, and subscribe. End of line. Well, bye.